In this A Piece of CX video, we're taking a look at the GenAI prompter for CXone Mpower and how it can really help you to elevate AutoSummary and even CoPilot for the CXone Mpower suite. So AutoSummary has been around for a while within CXone, and it's already seen quite a lot of adoption with customers and seeing great ROI already with it. With the 25.1 release, Nice talked about there being a GenAI Prompt Editor, and we're starting to see that filter through onto platforms now. So I'm going to show you what you can do with this. So it's within the admin menu, which is intriguing because maybe there just isn't a natural fit for it elsewhere, although there is the Enlighten Auto Summary field here, but it's up in admin at the moment. So you'll need to role and permission this for your users, and then it's just under AI Manager. So potentially that's going to move at some point, but that's where it is at present. Then we have our profiles, and there are auto summary profiles and there are Copilot summary profiles. I'm going to do auto summary first. So out of the box, there is a profile already. It just says summarize the interaction. This is what AutoSummary has been doing for a while. If you've been using this through the hub area and within Agent Assist, you'd configure this for anything up to 250 words now, give it a few criteria, and away it goes. You can even say, oh, it's an insurance vertical or a retail vertical, for example. We can see there are things evolving fast, though, in the world of Nice. We've got the option here of different LLM models. It looks like this one here is not editable at the moment. That might be a role and permission thing, as I'm using one of the Nice partner demos at the moment. If I look, and I've just created my own duplicate of this, so that's a great thing here. You can just duplicate, rename, do what you need to. Here, we are just saying summarize the interaction. Then we can add some transcripts. To do this, we go to Interactions Hub and we find some calls that meet our criteria. You might use emails as well. I've basically put a search in here for anything in the last 90 days that is voice over 2.5 minutes. So I've got a bit of data there and is strongly negative. I can also save this. So I'm going to save that as last 90 days, voice negative 126. I'm going to save that, so I've got that for future reference. The segment ID, probably not a column anyone is looking at or has looked at in a long time, but it is here. So you add that to your view, and then I'm just going to pick on a couple of calls here. I'm going to copy that cell, and what we'll do is we'll just pop that into here as well. You can have up to 5 of these, so we can do that. It looks like we can also add some transcript files, so we could just upload a transcript as well from an interaction. This doesn't look like we're utilizing the full transcription hub option just yet, but it is interesting where it's moving towards. And let's pick on Lisa as well. Let's copy that cell and we'll just do 3 for now. So we'll add those. We can then say test the prompt. And this looks pretty much like the first generation of AutoSummary always has looked, just a summary. It's not essentially very well formatted, but it will give us what we need to. And we could just publish this prompt and then version 1 is out there and it's ready to go. So what we can do though is provide greater guidance. So within the general area, it says provide summarization instructions. So let's see what else we could add into here. If I have a look, potentially, I am going to just add some more details. Test that prompt again. And we get a bit more detail in that. Potentially we need to say bullet point everything. So we'll add that in as well. Maybe we need to say highlight any next actions. This is where, as you get to know working with GPT models and everything, you work out what your prompts should be. So here we've got a next actions. The agent should provide a clear plan, and potentially we need to break this down into sections. There we go. So we work it, we carry on changing different things with it. We see what happens. We can look at the different segment IDs, see what comes out, see what we see. This one here actually has given us a lot more detail potentially. So that's auto summary. Where this evolves further is within Copilot. So we'll pick on profile 1 here. I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to say this is Holt CS. Here we have more options. It gives you a whole idea of a template. We can change the verbiage. Nice loves calling people Patreons. Let's go into the transcripts now. We haven't copied those across, so we'll just go up here. It would be nice if you had this option of saying copy segment IDs. Don't think it's going to let me do it easily either. We'll do it up here. This is where if we had already created this within CoPilot instead of AutoSummary, by duplicating it, we'd have all of these options available to us. So let's just click on that one and copy and go back to this. And in we go. So let's have a look. This prompt is loving that we're calling it patron. That's such a nice word. Formal, maximum length 51 to 100, US, summarize conversation. So we do that. And at the moment, it looks very much like good old fashioned auto summary. Can't believe it's calling auto summary old fashioned. Let's call this customer. And it's interesting because it actually said client there. So it obviously decided it preferred client. We are going to go with instructive. What you see there depends on the BU as well, because we're seeing different results on different BUs. I'm going to go 250 to 500 words. So that's relatively new. 500 words of summary. We'll go to UK English. We'll still go with summarize. That should at least give us a lot more. So it's now starting to break it down. And actually, there's a huge amount there we could go with. What I'd love to see here is a button where it goes straight into agents communication. Do you know what? Let's put that straight into a coaching module. We're not there yet, but that would be awesome if we got there. We can actually see we're using a slightly different LLM for this. I'm going to try and publish this. I suspect we're going to get an error again there, but we'll keep it in draft for now. So what happens when we start to change these instructions? Well, unfortunately, this box doesn't get much bigger, but what we can do is start to bring different things in. So I would normally create these somewhere in a Word document and then move them across. Now, you maybe are going to build this up into sections. I'm just going to shoot for the moon straight away. And we bring that in. And now we're getting more and more detail. Confusion points, filler words, overall summaries, next steps, detailed analysis, initial interaction, client's expression of discontent. It's still saying client instead of customer, so something's not completely happy there, but we've got a lot we can play with there. So think about this in the eyes of your business, your verbiage, what you could change here, and you can have multiple profiles here across AutoSummary, and if you upgrade towards CoPilot, depending on different parts of your business. You've got a sales arm, the verbiage and what you're looking for is going to be different to the support. Support, you're going to be looking for things like, have we addressed first contact resolution? Is there likely to be a follow-up? Whereas sales, you're going to be making sure that we're setting ourselves up for a successful sale. So that is the GenAI editor within CXone Mpower, recent edition as of 25.1. If you haven't played with it yet within the Nice environment, well worth it. And if you haven't even looked at AutoSummary yet, get yourselves onto CXone Agent and then speak to your Nice partner about turning it on, because you'll see a great ROI. Thank you very much for joining us.